Hello everybody, welcome to the Generic Happy YouTube channel. I hope you're all staying safe and doing what makes you happy. Um, I'm glad that you guys are joining me for this video. As you guys know, if you guys are watching this video, or maybe this is the first time you guys are finding out through this video, we have a Nintendo Direct today. At the time of this recording, we are 3.5 hours out from the Direct. Um, but probably by the time it goes up, it'll probably be like 2 hours out. Um, I've already done the thumbnail, so you guys don't have to worry about that. I think the thumbnail is kind of cool. It's the first time I actually did a thumbnail that's like fully like edited stuff. Like I usually for like these kind of reactions, I usually did like the template that like the company would post, and then just like put like characters or um, like game symbols all over like the thing. But I actually did this one on my own, so that was kind of cool. But anyways, yes, we are a little bit out from the direct. Stuff is starting to leak right now, so I'm staying away from those things, which is also why I'm recording this video right now, so I can stay away from those things. But yeah. This is the September 2021 direct, so um, we're gonna see stuff that is mainly from this year, but we'll also see stuff for next year. Stuff that's already been announced for next year, and then probably some new stuff. I'm assuming. But yeah. Thank you guys for joining, watching this video. Before I start, I will be streaming the direct, my reaction to the direct. Um, at around, it starts at 6 p.m. EST for me, so probably at around 5:45, 5:50, I'll start streaming, and I'll probably go on until around 6:50. So that's about an hour long reaction. But yeah. If you guys haven't seen one of my prediction video before, they're pretty similar to other prediction videos, but I do rate how likely I feel like things will be when it comes to actually appearing in the direct. So I usually rate them like that is a must, like that's going to be in it. Then I rate them like the stuff below that has to be a 50-50, and then stuff below that is more like just guesses, like it's likely not going to be there, but just in case it is, I just want to put it out there. Um, so yeah, but this is the Summer 2021 Direct, so and they have emphasized that this will be mainly the Winter 2021 games, so it'd be mainly the stuff we saw in the February Direct, as well as the um, June E3 Direct. So those, unlike like the February Direct, this will probably be more heavy loaded on those things compared to the newer announcements that are in February Direct. So yeah, um, one of the things I'm guaranteeing will be there is um, at least 4 out of the 5 or 6 games that Nintendo have, or they have a good amount of games that they're publishing for the rest of the year. But I think 4 games at least will appear out of out of Metroid Dread, Mario Party Superstars, um, Pokemon Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl, Shin Megami Tensei 5, Advanced Wars, and Advanced Wars 1 and 2 remakes, and Big Brain Academy. There's probably 1 or 2 games I'm missing in between those, but I do think we'll see at least 4 of those out of those 6. Um, if I had to like put a guess out there for the game for which 4 we will see, we're probably gonna see Metroid Dread. We're probably gonna see Mario Party Superstars. We will probably see Advance Wars, and we'll probably see um, Pokemon. Um, but I think Pokemon will probably be interchangeable between Pokemon Shin Megami Tensei 5 and Big Brain Academy. I think those 3 can fit into that 4 slot, but I do think the first 3 I stated are guarantees that they will appear at some point in the direct with new content. So yeah, I'll start with those first 3 games. So, starting with Metroid Dread, um, we have been seeing a lot of Metroid Dread recently. Nintendo has shown off, from E3 to now, they've shown off a bunch of different, like, smaller trailers. They've already released the overview trailer. I think they do weekly like journals or weekly logs. I forgot what it's called on their Twitter page for Metroid Dread. Just like recap like the series and like try to like show like newer fans like what to expect from the series. So out of the three Metroid Dread, Mario Party Superstars, and Advance Wars, I think this will actually be shown the least amount, because as a fan base, we've already seen a lot of it that they probably want to show off. They might just replay one of the older trailers that they've already posted. But I don't think we'll actually just get a new trailer in this. I think we'll get a trailer that has like that might not have had dialogue before, but they're just gonna speak through and just like show elements off from the game. Maybe even like a shortened version of the overview trailer that they were released. Which, by the way, if you guys want to watch the overview trailer, I should have it linked in the description below. So yeah, make sure you guys go watch it before the direct or after the direct, whenever you really feel like it. If they obviously show the overview trailer, then they'll go watch the overview trailer. They'll do it again. But yeah, I think that is the game that will be the most exciting to see. But I think it would also be the least amount. Out of these three, will be the it will have the least amount of screen time. Especially also because it's coming out in about 2 weeks now. So I think the only way it has more than that in screen time is if they also like combine it into a segment with the Nintendo Switch OLED. But yeah, Metroid Dread I think is a lock to be shown off um, today. But I think that a lot of stuff that we will see is just stuff that we already know about, or just like some smaller elements that just like help to um, get newer fans more interested in the series. Because obviously, like the September Direct is definitely trying to market these games to new fans as well as going into the holiday season. So that's probably the biggest thing Nintendo wants to do, and I think Metroid Dread will be their surprise holiday game, like the game that does the best besides Pokemon for the year. So yeah, or for this holiday. So yeah, that's very exciting. But the next game I think we will see obviously is Mario Party Superstars. Um, for Mario Party Superstars, I think we will see one of the maps that they're bringing from Mario Party 1 or 2 or 3. Um, I'm not really as knowledgeable on those maps, so I can't really say which one I would want. But I think they've revealed 3 so far. But and then with like 2 in Nintendo Direct, and then 1 on like the cover of the actual game. So I think we'll see if they don't consider the one on the cover a reveal just yet. I think that's one we'll see. But if they do consider that one a reveal, I think they will mention that one and then show off a new one. Um, and similar to that, I think we'll see some mini games. I think we'll see if there's any extra modes in the game. We'll see some new modes, and we'll probably see a couple of new characters, or maybe one or two new characters. I won't say a couple, but one or two new characters, or just one or two characters because they're not really new, unless they do bring some new characters. You know, unless they bring like some characters from like that we haven't seen in Mario Party before, like I don't know. Uh, I don't think Pauline's been in a Mario Party before. So yeah, maybe Pauline or um, an obscure character, one of the newer characters, maybe one of the Koopalings or something like that. Um, um, yeah, I think that's all they will show off from Mario Party Superstars. I'm not really confident in what they'll show off. I know it. I'm pretty sure it's probably going to be. I think that's the second lock that they'll show off. But I think besides those things, there isn't really much more. Maybe they'll talk about online a little bit more. But I think that's about the range of stuff that they'll probably expand into. Um, Again, these two things they've already shown up. Some of these two things they've shown up more Metroid Dread, obviously, but Mario Party is a little bit more explanatory. Um, so they might not need to talk about it as much. Um, Maybe if they wanna, nah. I was thinking about maybe if they want to do like connectivity between Super Mario Party and Mario Party Superstars, but I don't think that'll actually happen either because those are two different games. But yeah, I think that is it. Maybe if they do DLC, maybe not. Maybe they'll announce like what they did with Mario Golf. Maybe they'll announce that there's gonna be um, post game updates that like add new maps from other games or just new mini games or new modes, stuff like that. Like they've been doing with a lot of the Mario spin-offs recently. But I think that is about it for Mario Party. I'm very excited for both these games. I already have them both pre-ordered. So yeah, and they both come out in October. So um, the last of the games I feel like is a lock is Advanced Wars. And, Advanced Wars, I think that I'm not as knowledgeable again on this franchise. I've been really excited to play it when it comes out in December, but um, I think we'll probably just get an overview trailer, to show it to fans like me that haven't played in Advanced Wars yet, and we'll see some of the mechanics, some of the characters, maybe some of the modes if there's like how many modes in the game, if there's any other modes besides the story mode. Maybe some online play. It is a game made by WayForward or being developed by WayForward, so it has the special, WayForward touch that Shantae has been having, and to a lesser extent, I guess, Bakugan, the Bakugan game that came on Switch. But yeah, those three games I think are locks. With Advance Wars being maybe like one of those filler titles you see like in the middle of the direct. I think Metroid Dread will get its own segment, or I think Metroid Dread and Advance Wars will get like smaller segments, and then Mario Party will probably get its own segment, maybe like leading into like the middle announcement of the direct. Um, but yeah, I think those three games are going to be pretty cool to see in this direct. They all are coming out within the end of the year, so with two of them coming out in about a month. I mean, in a month or less, pretty much. Um, so yeah, that's very exciting. We have two games next month. We have two games in next month. We have two games in November, and we have two games in December. So that's actually really cool. That's so many games to go over. But yeah, um, in the next segment, which you guys will not like hear, like you guys will not have to like wait for the segment, obviously. But I will talk about the other three games that I think have a possibility of showing up. With showing up that with like that fourth spot, or maybe all six of them will show up. Who knows? But yeah, give me a second, and which will just not be a second for you guys. It will be like a snap, like Thanos. But yeah, let me get some water. Okay, so as I stated before, there is three other games coming out this year, um, and I think we'll see four. So I'm thinking come out this year. And those three games are Pokemon Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl, Shin Megami Tensei 5, and Big Brain Academy. All of those games, I think Pokemon is the most likely to show up, and a close second is Shin Megami Tensei 5. And that's just because we haven't seen much of either of those games. We've seen a little bit of Shin Megami Tensei 5, like a little bit more than Pokemon Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl, but I think those two are probably maybe going to show up. I think they're more likely than most of the other games I've stated on this list to show up, but yeah, I think we'll get maybe like smaller trailers, maybe start smaller segments on them. Nothing huge because I don't think they'll get their own segments. If if Pokemon Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl has more to say, I think they'll do it in like their own, maybe not a percent, but just like release their own things through their Pokemon company. And then Shin Megami Tensei 5 can do the same thing. For Pokemon, they'll probably just show off like a little bit more than battle mechanics, maybe some more of the underground. And Shin Megami Tensei 5, again, they might like do just a little bit more battle, maybe some new story stuff. But I don't think anything more than that. I think they'll both get like smaller trailers if they're in the direct. And then there's Big Brain Academy, and I would say this would actually be the likeliest of all them to show up, just because it was announced on Twitter, unlike the other two. Um, but I was like, it's a Twitter drop. It's obviously on YouTube, but like, um, I saw more people talking about it on Twitter, and obviously it doesn't get like the amount of advertisement like time that these other two have gotten. However, it isn't really a game that I feel like fits in to the general aesthetic of the direct, like what kind of direct we're gonna be viewing, and that's like nothing against it, but it's more of like a laid back game. So I do think it could show up. I'm just not really sure what they would show off. Maybe some like new modes, some like the new mini game, like brain mini games. Maybe like showing like the interactivity. Um, but they've also already shown a lot of stuff in the original trailers, so maybe they'll just do like a smaller segment, just recapping what they did in the trailer. But um, I think if they wanted to show this game, or they wanted this game to get bigger publicity, they wouldn't have announced it 2 weeks ago. And I think that is my biggest like thing against like it being in this direct, as like a larger segment, just because I feel like if they wanted to, they would have just held it off. Because Nintendo doesn't like they don't set like limits on how long a direct can be. So I feel like there's a reason why they didn't show it off in this direct, and it was probably just because they felt like maybe it would get overshadowed if they showed it off early. I mean, in this direct, and that's why like they gave it its own time really, um, in the spotlight. So yeah, I think of those 6 games, most of them will just show up in segments small to big. It just depends, really. It depends on what Nintendo really just wants to show off. But those 6 games, I'm pretty confident will be with 3 of them at least being guarantees. I think at least probably 4 will show up in this direct. Yeah, and then we go into like the more prediction oriented things, some of the third party stuff. But yeah, we have for this year, we have also 2022 games. So they are going to show off 2022 games. I don't think they'll show off any games that are undated. I think every game they show off will have at least a 2022 year connected to it, even though it gets delayed into 2023. But I do think at least most of the games they show off will have that 2022 date, or I think all of them will. Um, so yeah, and I think that in itself kind of leans to where I'm going. I don't think, let's get this out there. I don't think we'll see Breath of the Wild 2, the sequel to Breath of the Wild, in this direct. Maybe if Alanuma's in this direct, maybe to show off like a new, maybe some like a port or something of one of the other Zelda games. Maybe he'll mention it, but I don't think that we will see Breath of the Wild 2 in this direct at all. That's just because I think that it is going to be a late 2022 game if it doesn't get delayed to 2023. And I think Nintendo's probably going to try to keep back from that. I think the next time we will see Breath of the Wild 2, and this isn't really like a direct prediction, but I do think we'll see it at the Game Awards this year as like a smaller trailer, especially since Nintendo may or may not. I don't want to spoil my future predictions. May or may not have a Game Awards Smash character to show off. But yeah, so I do obviously you'll focus on those. I do think we'll probably get some games that are later in 2022, maybe summer 2022. But yeah. Okay, so sorry about that. But yeah, so I think the 2022 games are a little hard to predict. A little harder to predict from Nintendo, because we do know what games will be coming out 2022. For the most part, we know that we'll be in Legends Arceus. We know that we're getting Splatoon 2. At the moment, we know that we're getting Breath of the Wild 2. Even though I said I don't think we're going to see it. I don't think we are going to see it, but we know like in the moment that we are getting that. We know Mario and Rabbids Sparks of Hope is 2022. So we do know a couple games. There's some other games that like aren't directly confirmed for 2022 yet, like Bayonetta 2 or Bayonetta 3. Metro Prime 4, Metro Prime Trilogy, some of this Zelda stuff, possibly. So there's like a good amount of games that could be next year. Obviously, I don't think we'll see most of them, especially since it's focused on 2022. But I do think we'll see some of them. I don't know if we'll see anything Pokemon related beyond a small segment on Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl. I think that the Pokemon Company wants to, and Game Freak probably just wants to get do their own thing on that. Even though Nintendo is obviously a part of that, I do think that, and obviously all 3 of them will work together, and they'll probably maybe do another Pokemon Presents maybe next month, or they'll just like release smaller trailers. I don't think there is really much more to show off of Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl, and they usually market them together. So even if I'm kind of, thinking maybe it won't even show. Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl might not even show up because they have just been marketing them together recently. So I think that is if they do something. I'm not really sure if I can see Shining Diamond, Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl being here without Legend Arceus. But yeah. And then the other 2022 game I feel like will be here is Splatoon 3. I think we'll maybe get a story trailer or like a more expanded trailer on what's happening. Um, and some multiplayer stuff. So maybe some of the new Inkling types, not Inkling types, like hairstyles, some of the new clothing options, maybe some of the new characters, stuff like that. I mean, I think of the 2022 games, that is the most likely to show up. That's already been previously announced. Um, and I think that trailer will end on a season year. So I think it will end on either something like spring 2022 or summer 2022. However, beyond that, I think the other game that we might see from 2022 will be Bayonetta 3, or maybe a sequel to Astral Chain. I think Platinum will be here in some extent. Um, I don't know if they'll actually announce an Astral Chain 2 before Bayonetta 3 comes out, because that'll be two games that comes to the Switch before that game comes out. But I think that is like I think we'll see one of these games, one more game outside of 2022. I mean, outside in this like range that Nintendo will show off that we've kind of known before, and I think that'll be Bayonetta 2, at 3. I don't think Mario & Rabbids will be here just yet. I think that game is a August game, so I feel like Ubisoft you might do their own like a little trailer that comes out in a couple of months, maybe at the Game Awards, and then we'll have a bigger blowout in the early next year and summer directs. Um, Maybe some mini directs between those as well. But yeah. And there's some third party stuff. I feel like third parties is a little harder to predict when it comes to Nintendo. There have been some third-party delays. Life is Strange, True Colors, and the Remastered Collection have were delayed, so we might get a date on those. There's been like some rumors about Castlevania, the Advanced Collection. I think that will show up here. That'd be very exciting to see it. And then there is, some rumors on some other games coming out. There's some Grand Theft Auto games that have been rumored to come to not just Switch but all consoles. So this might be the moment that this might be the segment that Rockstar takes to announce those. There could be some Just Dance will probably appear, but it's a little hard to predict. There's been rumors of a Resident Evil game that may be exclusive to Switch, maybe exclusive to Switch and PC. That might show up here depending on what Capcom wants to do, because Tokyo Game Show is in a couple of days, maybe a week or so. So they might just want to show it off there. But I think that it is a little hard to predict. So I think we will definitely see a good amount of third parties here. I just don't. We might even just get a sizzle reel of most of the third party content for this direct. But we might get some Twitch exclusives. We might not from third parties. But I think that we will get at least one or two surprising announcements. Even if they've been rumored before, I think they will still be surprising. If that be the Resident Evil, the Grand Theft Auto collection, or the Castlevania collection, or anything like that. We might get some Dragon Ball stuff. Like a Dragon Ball game. Dragon Ball Kakarot is coming out this week on Switch, I think. So might get like a mention of that, but there is a good amount of games. Maybe the Alan Weeks, stuff like that. So I feel like we will see a good amount of third parties, but I just don't know how frequently or how many of those will be in there. I feel like obviously, like most directs, there is more third parties or more smaller games than the Nintendo games, so we'll probably see more than what I'm mentioning. Um, we'll probably get some of these games obviously surprised. Maybe we not get all of them. We might get some other surprises outside of. Um, but yeah, very excited to see those. I guess the other game, it's like a third party slash Nintendo published game, and that is Project Triangle Strategy. I think that also has a possibility of showing up here. It is a next year game, and it'll probably be summer next year. So that is, that's holding me back a little bit on if they'll show it off, especially since it isn't a first party game directly. It's like a second party game. Um, but I'm not really sure like what how long these segments will be. So if Nintendo can fit it in, I mean they can fit it in. If they had the content, they would have fit it in. So if it's there, it's there. But I think that it's possible, but I wouldn't like guarantee it. There's definitely be third party games, there's definitely be 2022 games, but I'm just not sure how many of them will be in here compared to the winter games for this year. Um, but yeah, and then we obviously in this last part, so most of the stuff I've already stated before have been things that I would classify in the guaranteed or 50-50 um, portion of the direct, like in my predictions. I think most of the stuff from here on out will be stuff in that 50-50 section or even less in my out there predictions or just stuff that I would personally want to see that I don't think will be here, or things that have just been rumored but may not make it into this one, may make it into a one next year. Um, but yeah, and the first of those games is a new Kirby game. This game has been rumored for I think a couple years now. Star Allies came out in March of 2018, so I'm assuming this one will not come out. Like if they announce one year, it will not come out this year. So it'll probably be like about 4 years since Star Allies. And I think that is a good amount of time. I'm not really sure what kind of form. There's been rumors from the well, I guess they're not rumors because they've been practically confirmed by the development team that this might be a 3D game. So that is very exciting. I think if that is the case and that is here, I think that will be the big game for this direct. There is a couple games that could be bigger, but I think this will be the game that like most people walk out remembering just because it is Kirby. It's a new style for Kirby. It's a new something we haven't seen much of in the Kirby franchise. So yeah. Obviously, I can't really predict much on like what the games will actually be because you know I, Nintendo can go all out and just like release a Kirby game that's like fully open world or something, or it can just be like a little more smaller based. Maybe like a WarioWare type of game, like a smaller scale, $40 to $50 game, or it could be like an open world $60 game, something like that. It could be anywhere in between. So I can't really go out and predict those kind of things, but I'm very excited to see it if it is at the direct today. Um, but yeah. In comparison, so I think that is a 50-50. I think that's in the 50-50 range that we'll see. I do think it exists, but it just depends if Nintendo's ready to show it, and I think they are. So I do think that it's 50-50 to guaranteed to show up today. Um, and then we have the other game that's been rumored a lot more recently, but has been gaining a lot more friction just due to the fact that voice actors have been coming out saying that they've been working on it or they've been hinting at it. There's been smaller segments, smaller things have been going on here and there. Some of the insiders have been like talking a little bit more about it, and that is Xenoblade 3. Um, I do think that exists. I do think that when Nintendo was referring to mostly focusing on announced games, I do think that this will be the second out of with this and Kirby be the second the two from Nintendo that have not been talked about yet that will be in this direct. I do think one of them will begin the direct and the other will end the direct. Probably Kirby and then Xenoblade, in that or beginning and then end. But again, in continuation of the story, in Xenoblade 3, we haven't got Xenoblade X on the Switch, and that's because I have been obviously seeing, many of you guys probably been seeing, that it would be very difficult for them to put that on Switch, so that's understandable. But yeah, I don't think that I think those two games are very, very likely to appear in this direct. Out of any other like franchise Nintendo has, uh, I don't think we'll see anything Pokemon like outside of Legends and Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl, if that's even there. I don't think we'll see anything more of Pokemon. But yeah, um, you know, that is like the two games I've been mostly talked about. There's been Um, there's been other like smaller games or like that haven't gained as much leverage. Um, but yeah. Anyways, we also have um, the possibility of getting a new Donkey Kong game. There again was those rumors earlier this year that went on to say that a new Donkey Kong game, whether it be 2D or 3D, was being developed by the Super Mario Odyssey team. Um, Now, could that have been a cover up for Super Mario Odyssey 2? That's for you all to decide. But I do think there is a Donkey Kong game in development at Nintendo, and I do think that we will maybe see it here. I'm not really sure because I've already said those two games up here. I think two I think three games at the max from Nintendo that are new are going to appear here. I think one at the minimum. I think Nintendo obviously will bring at least one new game with them to this direct. Um, but yeah, it is kind of a predicament in these situations because there's so much Nintendo could show off, but will they show it off, or if it even exists? Um, those things are obviously important points, but um, yeah, and then we also have just going off a little more logical like um, sphere of like games. We have Fire Emblem. That could be a that could they could announce a remake of one of the older games, or a new game from Fire Emblem. Um, Again, they probably are a little bit out from Fire Emblem because I I think the intelligent systems have been working on other games for Nintendo more recently, so if they were like doing a remake, that's probably not a game that's like close to coming out. It's probably like another summer 2022 game at the very earliest. So that is a little bit interesting when it comes to perspective on that. But there's also that, and then there's other games we could get. Super Mario Odyssey 2, like I alluded to earlier. Um, but if Super Mario Odyssey 2 here, I don't think Xenoblade 3 is here unless that begins and then ends. Um, I th- I don't think they have Xenoblade 3 though and Mario Party. No, it's Mario Odyssey 2. I think we get one of them. I think it'll be Xenoblade 2 or 3, and then Mario Party Odyssey 2, if that exists, will be announced next year, for probably October. Um, but then we have and then now I'm just gonna go into the games I want to personally see here. Um, if you guys know, I'm a huge Captain Toad fan, or not a huge like. I guess I would say I'm a huge Captain Toad fan. I really like Captain Toad. Um, so I want to see a sequel to Captain Toad. I want to see Captain Toad in Super Smash Brothers. Um, I probably won't get either of those things in this direct. But Captain Toad 2 would be cool. I like the change that Captain Toad brings to the Mario like a Mario spin-offs. So yeah, Captain Toad 2. Um, and then I've talked about this before in other predictions. Um, but I also want to see a sequel to Kid Icarus Uprising, or a sequel to, or just like a new game in the Kid Icarus series. So yeah, I would love to see like a new game in the Kid Icarus franchise. Again, I'm not really sure if Nintendo would do that, especially in a smaller direct like this. Um, but yeah, Kid Icarus Uprising 2. It's possible. I don't think we'll see Metroid Prime 4. I think that is very far away. I don't think we'll see the trilogy either. Um, I don't even think we'll see anything outside of Dread. Anything like mentioned outside of Dread from the um, Metroid series. However, and same thing with the Zelda series. I don't think we'll see anything much more than that. I think that is all stuff that can either be announced later on this year and maybe like a press release or like something on Twitter because they're not like huge games. Well, Trilogy would be huge, but we already have Twilight Princess HD and Wind Waker HD on Wii U, so it probably wouldn't be, like a huge deal for them to get those out. Or like that wouldn't be like a huge part of the direct for this year, for September. Similarly, that's some of the games that we could see. That would just be personal ones. Ace Attorney 7, or like those kind of games. they're like more oriented or associated with Nintendo Switch from like third parties. So Ace Attorney 7, or it's a new Ace Attorney game. Marvel Ultimate Alliance 4, like those kind of games. Yeah, like I mean, there's a good amount of games that I would want. That's probably something I'm forgetting. I would love a new Star Fox game. I would love, obviously, a new Kid Icarus, Captain Toad, something from the Wii era. So, but yeah. Um, there's one more thing I did not mention. That has been like it's like a 50-50 to above, and that is the N64 showing up. N64 going to NSO, as well as a Smash character, but N64 has been like rumored for a little while now, like for the last couple of weeks. Before that was Game Boy, so I actually would not be surprised if we see both those things up here. Maybe one of them coming out earlier than the other one, but like giving us a little more of a glimpse into NSO, or like the benefits NSO will be giving us. Um, I think it is a little more complicated with N64 because obviously Super Mario 64 has already came out on Switch as a collection that you had to pay for, so it's probably a little bit more confusing to do that one. But I do think we at least get Game Boy or N64, if not both, at least talked about in this direct. And obviously, we'll probably get like a couple games from each of them, or we probably get 10 games from N64 and some games from Game Boy if that's the case. But yeah. And I think, honestly, if it is just one of them, I think it comes out next week. If it's both of them, I think one of them comes out next week and one of them comes out at the beginning of next year. But yeah. And then we have Smash. I personally am on the fence if Smash will appear in this direct. There has been thoughts that they would hold it off until the Game Awards. But I think honestly that depends on what character this is. I don't think Nintendo wants to go to the Game Awards with a character that isn't like somebody that's like huge, like Joker or Sephiroth. So if it's like if it's like a Nintendo franchise that isn't like, like a Kid Icarus character, like Hades, I don't think that they would want to go to the Game Awards with that, or like Captain Toad. But if it's like, Phoenix Wright or Frisk or Chris from Undertale and Deltarune, I think maybe they would want to go to Game Awards with that stuff. But so that's why I feel like if it's a smaller character, it will be in this direct. If it's not a smaller character, it has a lesser chance of being in this direct. It could still be in the direct, but I think it has a lesser chance of being there. And I think that character will release this month or early next month. It's a little late this month now, but yeah. And then we have one more thing we could talk about, and that is the Animal Crossing updates. There has been many rumors about Animal Crossing, and Nintendo's obviously confirmed that they are working on new content for Animal Crossing. So, Animal Crossing update, we'll probably see like some smaller thing. You'll probably get like a small segment, a small mini trailer, just revealing like maybe Brewster, maybe some of the newer things that are into some of the future events. But I think that is about it with Super Animal Crossing. But yeah, there isn't really much more to talk about when it comes to franchises. I'm really excited for this direct. I'm really excited to see what they show off. I'm excited to see Captain Toad if he appears. Any of the games that I personally want, if appears, I'll go crazy. I'll be really happy. But obviously, like there's gonna be some really good stuff in this direct, I feel. So yeah, you might get an F-Zero game from or Mario Kart 9. Mario Kart 9. Maybe we get the game that everyone wants, Mario Kart 9, or something like that. But I'm really excited, and I hope you all are excited too. Again, I will be streaming it if you guys want to come watch with me or after the fact. Be very cool either way. Or you guys, I always recommend watching these things actually on your own at first, just because you don't want my reaction to affect yours. If I don't react to something that you guys like, or you don't want your first like interaction with the game being with me, because then I feel like that takes away from the surprise or like the intriguement of that announcement. But yeah, thank you guys for listening to this longish discussion on business in a direct prediction video. I'm very excited to see it, as I've said multiple times before. And yeah, thank you guys again. Make sure to do what makes you happy, because that rhymes in New York happy. And I will see you guys in the next one. See you guys. Bye.